If you have experienced bad grades from the beginning of the year, so from September till now, and you haven't really passed your winter semester, then this video might be the right one for you. Today we're going to talk about how to make an academic comeback in the spring semester such that you can still finish this year off strong, go to the next year, or maybe even graduate in this year. My name is Tom Worsteler, also known as the Study Coach, and I help students but also adult learners with science-backed learning, time management, and mindset methods to improve their academic performance while maintaining their mental and physical health. So let's dive into today's topic about academic comeback for spring semester. The most important thing that we want to do is we want to start thinking ahead. I know you've probably said this to yourself over and over again. As of this semester, I will do things differently. But I hope once you listen to this video that you also know how to do things differently and you're going to act on it, because maybe this semester is so important for you that if you don't pass it, you might need to retake a year, which is the last thing that you want. So if you take this video and this semester seriously, then you have higher chances of passing and, well, going forward with your academic or a professional journey. The most important thing what we want to start with is to create a game plan, and we use our syllabus or our course outline or whatever the name your university gives, the outline of your semester. So you have a course and then it explains in detail what do you need to do before each class, so what preparation do you need to do, what is going to be covered in each class, and how you're going to be tested, what kind of exams, assignments, group projects, presentations, or individual exams do you have. You're going to take that and you're going to read it from A to Z because you want to be prepared and know what is going to come up in your next semester. You do this for all your courses. So if you have 4 courses this semester, you're going to read through all 4 of them. After that, you are going to start planning ahead. You take a tool, whether that's Google Calendar or it's a physical calendar or a Notion template, and you're going to add all of your classes and exam dates in the tool such that you have a big overview of what is going to happen over the next 2 to 3 months, maybe the 10 to 12 weeks. If there's a class, let's say on Monday from 1 till 3 or 4, you're going to put all of that in your calendar. We want to create structure and overview there. Next to that, you are going to implement and add some preparation time. This is also something called time blocking, but you're going to look at when the class is and you're going to add time to prepare for this class. So let's say if the class is on Monday, you want to prepare either on Saturday or Sunday. And with preparation, you can use the SQ3R method, which is simply skimming and surveying the material, questioning yourself about the material that you're going to prepare, read it, recall the material, and review it eventually over time. Plan your preparation time 1 or 2 days before the class is there. This also helps your brain to not reject as much information as soon as you are in the class, and it will help you feel so much more prepared. That's why preparation is key. There is a limitation of your working memory that we often call rejection, which means if new information is coming in, your brain is rejecting it because it has no prior knowledge about this topic. It is hard for it to connect. So if you do your preparation, when you're then in class, it's much easier to follow. Schedule all of your classes, schedule your deadlines, your exam dates, start scheduling your preparation, right? That's step number 1. The next thing that you want to start thinking about critically and strategically is your revision periods and your revision moments. What do you want to do is you want to implement something that we call spaced repetition. Also on the channel, we have a whole video going into depth about spaced repetition, but the golden rule is that you want to repeat material on increasing intervals to make sure that you're not forgetting the information long term, right? So I think we've all experienced this. We study something in week 1, we don't study it until week 12, and then we have to cover week 1 till week 11 in week 12, which makes us feel super overwhelmed. We're cramming everything last minute and we feel super stressed and pressured. With spaced repetition, we can overcome this problem. So what we do is when we have the class, we ideally repeat the material or revise the material on the same day and 1 day later, and potentially at the end of the week, and then 4 weeks later. I will summarize again. You plan everything in advance, you plan your preparation, and then you go and look, okay, if I have a class from 1 till 3, I do my first repetition at 4 p.m. on the same day of that class. And this could be creating practice questions, answering the practice questions that you got as a homework exercise, anything to quickly revise the material that you just studied that day. Then ideally, one day later, you quickly repeat again by asking yourself questions. At the end of the week, you can summarize and you can cover all of the material that you studied in that week. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, you repeat what you did in week 1 again. And then by the end of the semester, you're going to repeat. By then, you already had 5 repetitions instead of just 1, which is going to help you feel less stressed and feel less overwhelmed because you already covered this material so many times and you probably know it better. Schedule all your classes, schedule your exams and your dates such that you have overview, schedule your preparation, schedule your repetition moments. Start to think critically about this. This is super important. It also lowers the chance of decision fatigue, which means that sometimes when there's so many options to do, your brain doesn't make a choice because there's so many choices. With already planning this ahead, so for the next 10 to 12 weeks, you have a really good plan in place. The last thing that you want to do in your revision moments is to continuously use different active recalling methods. If you don't know what active recalling is, it means you are trying to come up with the answers on questions by thinking. If I ask you a question, what did you eat yesterday? You coming up with the answer is actively recalling, thinking back about what you ate yesterday, and then sharing that with me. That is strengthening your knowledge pathways way better than passively reading over material. You don't want to read over your summary. You don't want to highlight. You want to ask yourself questions and challenge yourself to come up with the information yourself. A couple of active recalling methods that we have. A really famous one is simply flashcards. What is the definition of this concept? And you practice that over and over and over. However, this is very surface level. Eventually in your exam, they might ask one question about what is the definition of this concept, but they're usually going to ask you, can you analyze this case study and then explain why this person should do XYZ? So you need to be able to evaluate something, you want to analyze the situation, you want to give an advice. It's way more complex than a flashcard can do. Flashcards are good for remembering and understanding material. After that, you can ask yourself open-ended questions, and you can then ask yourself like, hey, how does this concept differ from this concept? What are the differences between these things? And then you can list out the differences. So this way you're already analyzing and differentiating. You can ask yourself, what is the 6-step process of XYZ? And then you have to list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's more of a remembering thing, but also when you can start to explain, for example, the Feynman technique, teaching something, you can explain why it is step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in that particular order. I'm pretty confident that you are starting to master the material better. Summarizing, plan all of your study classes, plan your preparation, plan your revision, and then in your revision moments, use different active recalling methods. Whether that is practice questions, explaining to others, group discussions, practice exams, flashcards, anything that includes actively recalling the information. Now, the last thing that you want to do is you want to give yourself no option that you are not going to complete the semester. You need to be committed to it. If it's your final chance or if it's your last chance to pass these exams or you have retakes, go commit to it. It is only 10, 12 weeks. So it's not the rest of your life. If you fix it now, you'll be done with it and you can enjoy the next year, or you might even graduate and you can go into the work field, which is amazing as well. Commit to it. You'll be super grateful for yourself that you did it. If this video was useful and helpful, make sure to leave a comment below about what you learned, because then we're already converting this information into actively recalling in the comment section what you've learned. And if you want to see more videos about all of the learning methods that I just explained, make sure to subscribe to our channel and look at the videos that we have posted about these topics, such that we can help you out as much as possible and help you succeed in your academic or professional journey. Hope you have an amazing day.